The honourable member for Calgary-Fish Creek.
Mr. Speaker, BC's anti-pipeline NDP voted to ratify a governing agreement with the Green Party. This agreement states that they will immediately employ every available tool to stop the expansion of Kinder Morgan. Right. Your government has spent 2 years telling Albertans that we need the carbon tax to build pipelines. Well, we got job-killing carbon tax, but still no pipelines in sight. To the Minister of Environment, can you provide the name of just one pipeline protest group or individual who opposed Kinder Morgan in 2015 that has been convinced of the merits because of your hollow mantra of social license?
The Honourable Minister of Energy.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. You know, the Premier said it very eloquently yesterday, and I'll repeat. Make no mistake, Kinder Morgan will be built. Naysayers from the beginning who said you can't do environmental responsibility and extract resources. We proved them wrong. We got 2 pipeline approvals. We proved you wrong, and we're going to prove you wrong again.
First supplemental.
Mr. Speaker, please show us the flow. Given that when asked about the future of Kinder Morgan, the Deputy Premier stated the federal government was in a position to grant approvals. They have granted those approvals, and we are committed to moving forward with the pipeline. And given the Northern Gateway was also approved by the federal government of the day and supported by more than half of the affected Aboriginal bands. To the Minister of Energy, can you please explain how today's Kinder Morgan is any different than Northern Gateway, which is another known NDP Premier, yours, by the way, personally opposed when she took office?
Honourable Minister of Energy.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. One of the differences is, as our Prime Minister said, our climate leadership plan was one of the deciding factors for the pipeline. Again, instead of joining your BC pals and cheering against Alberta, it's time that you stood up for Alberta, like on this side of the House.
Second supplemental.
Mr. Speaker, we always cheer for Alberta on this side. Given that yesterday the Premier stated she is open to going to BC in order to change people's minds about Kinder Morgan, and given that after the NDP and Greens announced their intent to govern, the ever-fireable Sephora Berman called it, and I quote, a turning point for BC, our coast, reconciliation, and our climate. To the Premier, Berman, Mann, Weaver, Horgan, just how do you intend to convince an entire government to support 2 pipelines when these economic bouncers continue to cut up your social license and just take it as fake ID?
The Honourable Minister of Energy.
You know, Mr. Speaker, this is a critical project, not just for Alberta, it's for Canada. Alberta has never backed down from a fight, and we're not going to do that now. We're going to stand up for Alberta jobs. We're going to stand up for Alberta energy because that's the right thing to do. When are you guys going to join us?